Hello, my name is Judith Owiga, an electric mobility specialist at UN Habitat, and today I'm going to take you through the introduction to the course on electric mobility for the Smart Energy Solutions for Africa. In this video, we will cover the global sustainability challenge, getting e-mobility right, the opportunities and requirements, the planning and policy framework, specifically the Sustainable Urban Mobility Plan. We shall also look at a case study of the Kisumu Sustainable Mobility Plan. The global sustainability challenge in rapidly urbanizing cities is characterized by high energy use and dense populations, thus making cities carbon emission hotspots. The main contributing sectors to these carbon emissions include ground transportation, industry, residential buildings, electricity power plants, and commercial buildings. The action cities take to reduce emissions through urban planning, technologies, and behavioral changes in improving transportation and residential use of energy will form a key contribution to meet the global goals of the Paris Agreement on climate change. At UN Habitat, transport planning is guided by the Avoid Shift framework as seen here. Avoid. How can we avoid and reduce the need for motorized travel? This can be addressed by urban planning and transport demand management. Shift. How can we shift to more environmentally friendly modes of transport? We typically address this through working on urban planning, through working on urban public transport, walking and cycling, and new mobility services such as ride sharing, intelligent transport systems, mobility as a service. Improve. How can we improve the energy efficiency of transport modes by looking at the fuel economy, electric mobility, and renewable energy? The main goal of the Avoid Shift framework is to increase accessibility and mobility by bringing people and places together. The illustration here shows the hourly capacity of a 3-meter wide lane by different modes of transport at peak conditions with normal operations. For private motor vehicles, the capacity is 600 to 1,600 people per hour. For a two-way protected bikeway, the capacity is 6,500 to 7,500 people per hour. For a sidewalk, the capacity is 8,000 to 9,000 people per hour. For on-street bus or rail, it is 10,000 to 25,000 people per hour. This illustrates how prioritizing interventions for public transport, cycling, and pedestrians maximizes accessibility in cities while also being inclusive. The global agenda for sustainable mobility is guided by the Sustainable Development Goals, specifically SDG 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, the New Urban Agenda, the Paris Climate Agreement, and the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction. E-mobility can tackle challenges in the following policy domains: public health and environment, with the policy goal of improving air quality; the domain of climate change, with a policy goal to limit global warming by reducing greenhouse gas emissions; the energy domain, with a policy goal of energy security and affordability; the transport domain, with a policy goal of mobility and accessibility by reducing congestion and ensuring efficient decarbonization in the transport system; the domain of the economy, with a policy goal to increase social welfare by ensuring accessibility to technology, jobs, and services. E-mobility offers the opportunity to transform the mobility system by steering changes in travel behavior and contribute to more efficient use of energy resources. E-mobility has the potential to enhance multimodality and resilience of the transport network, thus creating an opportunity to prioritize more sustainable modes. E-mobility provides multimodal alternatives and is creating an opportunity for new mobility services to address user needs by improving cost effectiveness, exploiting synergies, and service integration. Even though the vast majority of vehicles on the road are cars, other vehicle types have a significantly higher proportion of emissions. This is because these vehicle types are usually heavier and have a significantly higher annual mileage in comparison to cars. For example, long distance trucks are responsible for up to 37% of nitrogen oxides, despite just having 1.3% of the total share of vehicles. Similarly, vans and buses account for a higher share of nitrogen oxides. What strategies and support schemes can we put in place to promote sustainable e-mobility systems? This includes strategic, financial, and regulatory incentives offered by cities and national governments, such as procurement programs to stimulate the demand for EVs in the market, policy measures to increase the value proposition of these EVs, regulatory measures related to charging infrastructure and standards. How can we adequately plan for electric mobility in emerging economies? It is noted that the urban form, once built, is hard to change. It is best to design for integrated urban design and transport outcomes from the very beginning. A sustainable urban mobility plan provides a framework to adequately undertake transport planning. What is a sustainable urban mobility plan? A sustainable urban mobility plan is an integrated, strategic, long term transport plan with clear goals designed to satisfy the mobility needs of people and businesses in cities and their surroundings for a better quality of life. The core SAMP principles describe the main features of a modern and sustainable urban mobility and transport plan. These principles include, among others, plan for sustainable mobility considering all existing transport flows across the city's functional area and not limited to its administrative boundaries, while addressing all transport modes in an integrated manner. To base the SAM process on strong cooperation, coordination, and consultation across different levels of government, between institutions, and involving citizens and stakeholders, and to define a long term vision as a strategic guide for action planning based on the analysis of current and future performance. The city of Kisumu is a rapidly urbanizing city in Kenya. Previously, conventional planning solutions have focused more on addressing the needs of motorists, neglecting the needs of pedestrians, cyclists, and public transport. The Kisumu Sustainable Mobility Plan recognizes that the integration of land use and transport planning is fundamental to improving the quality of life for Kisumu residents. Within its 10-year goals for mobility, the Kisumu Sustainable Mobility Plan provides the provision for all public transport vehicles to be Euro 4 or better, introduction of electric vehicles in order to provide better accessibility and mobility to Kisumu residents. Here are additional reading materials on e-mobility and sustainable mobility planning. Thank you for taking the time to go through this course on e-mobility, and I hope it proves to be beneficial to your sustainable mobility initiatives. Thank you.